Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? I hope you're having an amazing day, and in this video, I want to talk about Godzilla Minus One again because recently, the director has spoken out about something that really highlights one of the biggest problems of Hollywood. I think it's safe to say that a lot of recent movies, mainly Marvel and DC, have had a lot of issues lately, and one of those issues is the CGI and green screen usage. Even one of the greatest Marvel projects has had some terrible shots, which is honestly shocking despite having millions and millions of dollars put into them. With all this money, how come movies like No Way Home or even The Flash have shots or CGI usage like these? Well, the answer is obviously time, which contributes to the treatments of your workers. So let me read like a post or a statement from the director of Godzilla Minus One, Takashi Yamazaki. We made it more comfortable and cozy. We spent some budget building out a kitchen. We have designated sushi chef in the kitchen. We really tried to avoid long hours, but if you do, it's a very welcoming environment in which to spend a few extra hours. Now, isn't that a shocker? I mean, it kinda is when you see how well Minus One is doing in terms of numbers, and just how it sits with the audience. How does a film that took about like 2 years to make with a $15 million budget, compared to movies like The Flash with over a $200 million budget, turn out to be an amazing movie, blowing Hollywood out of the water, and receiving a ton of praise, and looking beautiful in every shot it has? And again, like I said before, one of the factors that contribute to this great success is the treatment of workers and actually taking time to making the final product. Minus One is such an amazing movie, and it's one of the perfect movies to highlight the issues in Hollywood right now. Every time I talk or think about Hollywood, I can't help but bring up Minus One because it's just one of the most recent movies that just does everything so right. The Flash, No Way Home, and Black Widow have a budget of over $200 million, and they all have some shots that just look like ass, and it baffles me. You can argue that it doesn't look terrible in every shot, and I'd agree with you. The entire movie doesn't look like this, so what's the big deal? Well, it's the fact that these movies have even one of these shots under their belt is the issue. What you have to consider is that these movies have triple the amount of money put into them than Minus One, again a $15 million budget movie, so they should look even better than all the CGI and green screen usage in Godzilla Minus One in every single frame. Actually, it should look just as good as the second Avatar movie, or I should say like just as half as good as the second Avatar movie. There shouldn't be a single terrible frame or shot, and yet it does. And I know there are going to be people out there that say that the story is more important, and while that is true to an extent, that's not usually the case, especially with Marvel. The look and story of a movie are supposed to complement each other. They empower each other because it's supposed to show this amazing world to us. Looks of the movie draws out the world and the characters on screen, and it draws out the story too. And when it looks fake, that can take people out of the experience. It may not bother me that much, but I cannot say the same for millions and millions of individuals. But even excluding that reason, why would you want to have scenes like this when you can have screens like this? Why settle for something cheap that doesn't look even somewhat decent? Don't you want your movie to look at its best as it could be? And Marvel and DC have made over millions and millions of dollars, and they have no excuse to present a film that has these pathetic shots in them. No reason. I love No Way Home, and I think it's amazing. But there's no reason for this awesome movie to have shots like this. There's no reason for even The Flash or even Black Widow to have a single shot that looks like this. They have more money put into them than Godzilla. If Godzilla Minus One can look like this, there's no reason that Marvel or even DC movies shouldn't look even better than this. Movies need to look great, especially when we've just gotten Avatar: The Way of Water and Dune. Marvel has to step up. This is where I kind of start to question the production of movies because I did a lot of research, and what I found is kind of surprising to me. Spider-Man No Way Home took more time to make than Avengers Endgame. I recently rewatched the movies for this video, and somehow No Way Home had bad CGI shots while Endgame looked beautiful in every shot it has. So how does a movie that got more time to be worked on have even one single bad shot, when a longer movie took less time to make and looks amazing in every shot? The Marvel Studios VFX crew has over 50 workers, while Minus One has about 35 artists. Now, I'm not a VFX artist and I don't know how much time and work it takes to like work on visual effects and fully render them in movies, but I can guarantee that it takes so much time. Actually, I have done research on this and it takes so much time to render like a good frame for, you know, however FPS you're working with. And because of different computers and stuff, it generates it faster, but you know, I'm not gonna get into the technology. I just want to go back to talking about like the issues at hand. What doesn't make sense is Avengers Endgame was completed in less than a year, and Godzilla Minus One took about 2 years to make, and No Way Home took about a year to make, and that includes adding visual effects. So why do the first two films look gorgeous despite No Way Home taking about half of the time to make? I looked into some articles that stated it was either to save money, time, or just try and get it done as soon as possible, so in terms of visual effects, it was kind of rushed. Now, this statement I'm showing right now is for Ant-Man 3, but I feel like it applies to No Way Home as well. That's just an assumption though, so take that for what you will. In the end, what it really comes down to, especially in terms of visual effects, is time, because it's the biggest working condition for these artists, and Godzilla Minus One makes that more evident than ever. Minus One is the example of what happens when you actually take your time and treat your team with respect, and give them time to develop something that's good quality. And the numbers prove that more than ever. Minus One had made over $100 million to its $15 million budget, while yes, let's take like the newest Marvel movie, The Marvels, for example. They did make more money than Godzilla, but it didn't surpass their own budget, which meant they actually lost more money. And the film wasn't received well by the audience either. It's just crazy because I know Marvel has done better, and they can still do better. They have millions and millions of dollars. They shouldn't produce things like this. They can and should do better, and this doesn't just go for CGI, but storytelling and connectivity in general. All it takes is just extra time and making work conditions bearable for your workers. I mean, Takashi said it himself. He and his team tries not to overwork their workers, and they try to put in long hours, the least amount as they can, but sometimes that's not always the case. There are times, especially when it comes to developing movies, that long hours are necessary to get the work done. So in that situation, he tried and make his workers as comfortable as possible, and it sounds like Takashi tried his absolute best to give his workers that. And guess what? That paid off. A good team, well-treated workers, planning, and giving yourself time is the key to producing an amazing movie. Sure, Minus One has taken about 2 years, but the reward is greater than the cost, and the numbers prove that. All in all, this is a situation I really wanted to talk about because I feel like we can get amazing looking movies, and I think what it comes down, for Hollywood at least, is their greed of money and maybe laziness, but I think it's just the greed to get those big bucks no matter what that, you know, just produces these terrible looking shots. Hollywood, look at Minus One, take notes, and actually apply them. Anyways, I think that might be it for this little rant video. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this, and leave a comment about your thoughts on what I've just said, and if you have any differing opinions, or if you have your own perspective on this, comment them down below if you'd like, and I'll respond. But yeah, that's the video, and have an amazing day.